I checked our bank app and found a hotel charge from a night he told me he was working late. He deleted his location history the same week he started going for walks every night after dinner. I found a text draft on his phone that just said, "I miss this," with no name attached, and he'd never sent it. I overheard him on the phone saying, "She doesn't have to know everything," right before he saw me standing there. "Hi, I'm Maya. On this channel, we analyze real relationship cases, cheating suspicions, red flags, am I overreacting questions. Today we're looking at 4 marriage cases where something small, a bank statement, a deleted location, an unsent message, an overheard phone call, cracked the surface of what looked like a normal life. In each one, we'll ask the same question. Is this explainable, or is this the beginning of something that can't be ignored? If you have a relationship situation you'd like me to analyze anonymously in a future video, you can send it to the email in the description. Please remove real names, private details, and anything that could identify you or another person. This channel is not professional therapy, it's for relationship analysis and discussion. But your story may help someone else feel less alone. Let's get started. I checked our bank app and found a hotel charge from a night he told me he was working late. My husband and I have been married for 4 years. Last Tuesday, he said he had a late client meeting and wouldn't be home until after midnight. I couldn't sleep, so I opened our joint bank app to check something unrelated. And there it was. A hotel charge. Same night, same city, $189. I screenshot it and said nothing. The next morning, he came downstairs, kissed me on the cheek, and asked what I wanted for breakfast. I smiled and said I didn't know yet. Am I overreacting, or did I just find something I can't unsee? On the surface, the visible problem here is a bank charge that doesn't match the story her husband told her. He said he was at a client meeting. The bank app says a hotel was charged that same night. Those two things can't both be true at the same time, at least not without an explanation. What makes this case particularly striking isn't just the charge itself, it's what she did with it. She found something that could change everything about her marriage, took a screenshot, and said nothing. The next morning, she sat across from her husband at breakfast, like the world was still normal. That kind of stillness, when someone is carrying something that heavy, is a very specific kind of pain. But here's what's really going on underneath this. The bank charge is a fact. What it means is still an open question, but her reaction tells us something important. She didn't ask him, she didn't confront him, she went quiet. And that silence isn't just shock, it might also be fear. There's also something significant about the fact that this was a joint account. He charged a hotel to money they both share. That's not just a hidden behavior, that's a very visible one, left right where she could find it. The morning after is where the hidden dynamic becomes most visible. He kissed her on the cheek. He asked about breakfast. He walked into that kitchen, carrying the same secret she was now carrying. That kitchen table is where the real weight lives. Can this be explained innocently? Yes, technically. A surprise anniversary booking or a work event at a venue with a hotel attached. But when these factors come together, a specific alibi and a charge that directly contradicts it, the picture shifts. The fact that she went silent instead of asking tells us something about how safe she feels asking hard questions in this relationship. The boundary statement that could be used is, "I found a charge on our account from that night, and I'd like to understand what it was." This is calm, it's factual, it gives him the chance to explain without immediately escalating into a confrontation. Sometimes the most dangerous moment in a marriage isn't the lie itself, it's the breakfast table the morning after. Do you think she should confront him directly or gather more information first? Let me know in the comments. Now let's look at the second case. He deleted his location history the same week he started going for walks every night after dinner. My husband and I have been together for 7 years, married for 3. About a month ago, he started going for evening walks after dinner, something he'd never done before. I didn't think much of it at first. Then last week, I noticed his location history on our shared family app was completely cleared. When I asked him about it, he said he accidentally turned it off. Then I checked his phone later and saw it had been manually disabled, not accidentally. He still goes for those walks every night. He comes back quieter than when he left. Am I reading too much into this? Or is a walk that needs to be hidden not really a walk at all? On the surface, the visible problem here seems almost trivial. A man starts going for evening walks. He turns off location sharing on a family app. These are two very ordinary, very small things. And by themselves, either one would be easy to explain away. But what makes this case worth examining is the combination. The walks are new, the location deletion is new, they happened at the same time. And when she asked about it, he gave her an explanation that turned out to be false. Accidentally turned off is very different from manually disabled in settings. Those are not the same action. Here's what's really happening underneath the surface. When someone deliberately disables location tracking, they're not just protecting their privacy, they're removing a layer of accountability they previously accepted. In a marriage with a shared family location app, both people have already agreed at some point that knowing where the other person is okay. Turning that off isn't neutral, it's a change in the terms of the relationship. The lie about accidentally disabling it is where this case becomes most significant. A small, unnecessary lie about something as low stakes as a phone setting is often more revealing than the setting itself. If the walks were truly innocent, the easiest response would be a casual, honest answer. I just wanted some privacy on my walks, is that okay? Not a false explanation that she could verify with 30 seconds of checking his phone. He also comes back quieter than when he left. That detail is easy to overlook, but it matters. A person returning from a peaceful walk alone usually comes back lighter, not heavier. Quieter can mean many things, but in this context, layered on top of everything else, it's one more piece of the same picture. Can this be explained innocently? Yes, he might genuinely want mental space or be going through something privately. All of those possibilities are real. But when it's already repeating, new behavior, new secrecy, a lie, and a changed emotional state, these form a picture difficult to explain away. The specific detail that moves this toward red flag territory is the false explanation. Privacy is reasonable, but lying to cover deliberate choices is a choice that protects something. In this situation, the boundary statement that could be used is, I noticed the location was manually turned off, not accidentally. I'm not trying to track your every move, but when things change suddenly and the explanation doesn't add up, it makes me feel like something is being hidden. Can we talk? This keeps the focus on the feeling and the factual discrepancy, not on an accusation. It makes clear that she checked and knows the difference. A walk is just a walk until the route needs to be hidden. And a lie about a phone setting is rarely just about the phone. Do you think the deleted location history is a red flag on its own, or does it only become one because of the lie that followed? Let me know in the comments. Now let's hear another case. I found a text draft on his phone that just said, I missed this, with no name attached, and he'd never sent it. My husband left his phone on the kitchen counter while he was in the shower. I wasn't snooping, I picked it up because I thought it was mine. The screen was already on. I saw a message in his drafts folder that said, I missed this, with no contact name. Just a number I didn't recognize. He'd never sent it. I put the phone back exactly where it was and said nothing when he came downstairs. I've been thinking about those 3 words for 5 days now. What does someone miss enough to write down, but not brave enough to send? On the surface, the visible problem here is 3 words in a draft folder. I missed this, addressed to an unknown number, never sent. That's it. No conversation, no photos, no proof of anything specific, just a draft. Just 3 words. And yet, those 3 words have been living in her head for 5 days, because a draft isn't nothing. A draft is something someone wrote, decided not to send, and kept. It's a feeling preserved in a folder private enough to stay hidden. It's real enough not to delete. Here's what's really going on beneath the surface. The word "this" is the part of the message that matters most. Not "I miss you," which would point to a person. Not "I miss those days," which would point to a time. I miss this. This is a reference to an experience, a feeling, a version of something that existed somewhere. And he was missing it enough to write it down, on a specific number, on a specific day, and save it. The draft was never sent. That could mean he thought better of it. It could mean he was afraid of what sending it would start. It could mean he's still deciding. None of those are reassuring interpretations, but they're all honest ones. What a saved draft tells us is that the feeling was real enough to write and complicated enough not to send. There's also something significant about the unknown number. If this were an old friend, the name would likely be saved. An unnamed number suggests either a new contact or a deliberate choice not to attach a name. She put the phone back exactly where it was. That detail tells us she's not confronting yet. She's processing. She's sitting with something that has no clean edges yet and trying to figure out what shape it is. Can this be explained innocently? Yes. I miss this could refer to an old friendship or a former version of life. People write things they don't send all the time, sometimes just to process a feeling. But when these factors come together, unknown number, no saved contact name, the specific intimacy of this, the gray area darkens. I miss this isn't a fading friendship. It's something with a texture and closeness he's mourning from a distance. In this situation, the boundary statement is, I picked up your phone by accident and I saw something in your drafts. I'm not trying to accuse you, but I haven't been able to stop thinking about it. I'd rather ask you directly. This is honest about how she found it. It opens the door to a conversation without slamming it open with a confrontation. And it gives him the chance to explain, I miss this, in his own words, which is ultimately what she needs. Sometimes it's not the messages people send that reveal the most. It's the ones they write and never find the courage to delete. Do you think an unsent draft is as serious as a sent message? Let me know in the comments. Now let's look at a different situation. I overheard him on the phone saying, she doesn't have to know everything, right before he saw me standing there. My husband was on the phone in the kitchen while I was coming downstairs. He didn't hear me. I stopped when I heard him say in a low voice, she doesn't have to know everything. Then he turned around and saw me. For about 2 seconds, we just looked at each other. He hung up immediately and said it was a work call about a client surprise, that he was planning something for me and didn't want me to find out. I nodded and went to make coffee. That was 6 days ago, and there has been no surprise. Am I supposed to believe that, or was I not meant to hear that sentence at all? On the surface, the visible problem here is one overheard sentence, she doesn't have to know everything, followed by an explanation that hasn't been proven true in 6 days. He said it was about a surprise for her. There's been no surprise. That's the gap between what he said and what has actually happened. What makes this case particularly sharp is the 2 seconds of eye contact after he turned around. That moment, before he said anything, before he constructed an explanation, that moment was the most honest thing that happened in the entire exchange. Two people looking at each other, knowing that something just shifted. Here's what's really going on beneath the surface. She doesn't have to know everything is a sentence about someone, not something, someone. People say she doesn't need to know about this when they're talking about a specific plan or a gift. She doesn't have to know everything is a broader statement. It's a philosophy applied to a person. It implies that there is a category of information being maintained separately, beyond just one specific secret. The explanation, a client surprise, a gift being planned is possible, but it has a very specific problem. 6 days have passed and there is no surprise. If the cover story were true, the easiest way to put this to rest would be to produce the surprise, give her a timeline, or acknowledge that she overheard something strange and address it. Instead, silence. He hung up immediately when he saw her. An innocent call, interrupted by a spouse appearing, doesn't typically end with an immediate hang-up. It usually ends naturally or with a "let me call you back." Immediate hang-up is an instinctive reaction that suggests the conversation needed to end before more could be overheard. Can this be explained innocently? Yes, and genuinely so. Surprise planning is real. Work confidentiality is real. People say things that sound worse out of context. But when these factors come together, the specific phrasing, she doesn't have to know everything, the immediate hang-up, the 2-second look, that both of them understood the weight of, and 6 days of no follow-up. This moves firmly into the territory of a case that needs a direct conversation, not more waiting. The phrase itself is the hardest thing to explain away. "She doesn't have to know everything" is not the sentence of someone planning a birthday dinner. It's the sentence of someone managing information. And in a marriage, managing information about your partner rather than sharing it is a significant shift. In this situation, the boundary statement that could be used is, "I've been thinking about what I overheard 6 days ago. You said it was about a surprise, and I want to believe that, but nothing has come of it, and I haven't been able to let it go. I'm not looking for a fight. I'm looking for honesty. What was that call actually about?" This names the time gap. It gives him one more chance to tell the truth before the silence between them becomes something harder to repair. The most revealing thing a person can say is the sentence they say when they think no one is listening. Do you think the 6-day silence after his explanation is the real red flag here, or is the original sentence itself enough? Let me know in the comments. 4 marriages, 4 moments where something small cracked the surface of what looked like an ordinary life. A hotel charge on a joint account. A location history that didn't accidentally disappear. 3 words in a draft folder that were never sent. And 1 sentence overheard at the bottom of a staircase. What connects all 4 of these cases isn't the specific evidence, it's the silence that followed each discovery. Every single person in these cases said nothing when they could have asked. They sat with it, carried it, processed it alone. And in each case, that silence was its own kind of answer, not about guilt or innocence, but about how safe they felt asking the hard question out loud. If there's one thing these cases have in common, it's this. The moment you find something you can't ignore, the conversation you're most afraid to have is usually the one most worth having. Which case hit closest to home for you? If you're going through a situation similar to one of these, or you have your own relationship story you'd like me to analyze anonymously, you can send it to the email in the description. Please keep it anonymous, no real names, addresses, or identifying personal details. I may use selected stories in future videos to analyze relationship dynamics, patterns, and red flags. This is not therapy, and I can't provide personal crisis counseling, but sometimes seeing a situation clearly is the first step toward understanding what's really happening. I'm Maya, see you in the next one.